Alright, hey guys, before we start this video, I just want to point out that everything that I'm about to say in this video is only my opinion. Alright, so like I was saying, I just wanted to preface this video before we start that these are just going to be my opinions based on video and B-roll, because that's all I do is a video. I don't do any photography. So if you're a photographer, this video doesn't apply to you and you can disregard everything I'm saying. But if you use your, let's say you were thinking about buying a 30mm Sigma lens for video or B-roll, then this video might be helpful to you because I'm going to give you a suggestion on what you should buy instead. So hopefully this does help you out. Alright guys, so I'm going to make this video quick. So previously I had posted a video of about the 30mm Sigma lens for Canon EF-M line. And it was more of like a first impressions, but I wanted to be honest and explain that I ended up returning it. And I think the main the lens was perfectly fine. The biggest reason I think had to do with the price, just for that focal length really, because again, I stated this in my other video, but man, $340 for a 50mm equivalent. I ended up taking it back because Black Friday, there was actually a lot of good deals. So I ended up getting, and I explained this that I had this before, the Canon 50mm with a Viltrox adapter. It's just the adapter, I didn't get the speed booster. Usually they're $40 and it was like $29.99 on eBay. And then the Canon 50mm, this bad boy right here was brand new for like 90 bucks. So usually on Amazon I've seen them like new, meaning that they're open box. Sometimes they'll have like a little bit of wear, but this one was brand new for 90. I felt like I got a really good deal there. I was 120 for this whole setup. And again, this is an 80mm equivalent. To me, this looks just as good as the 30mm, and I really can't tell the difference between 50 and 80. Like again, they just seem zoomed in. But for that amount of money, because again, I was only going to use I was only going to use this lens, the 50 or the 80mm equivalent, for B-roll. I wasn't going to vlog with it. I wasn't going to do any kind of like serious A-roll with it. So I thought this was perfect for that. It was 120. The reason I kept the 16, because it was the money, and then again it wasn't. So $340 for that focal length. Not saying that $340 was a lot, but $340 for that focal length is a lot. Because the 16 that I'm on right now, it's $450, and I, hands down, I mean, I know I seem like a fanboy for Sigma, but every dollar was worth it for sure. Like, I do not regret the 16mm one bit. So here's my setup. This is the way I do it, because I do video work, and with all the money I get from the video work, I just buy other gear. So I've had like over 10 lenses. 4 of which I've had 2 or 3 times in a row, the 22mm being one of them. I've owned that lens like 3 times. And I just keep selling it and bringing it back. My setup right now is a 16mm is my main A-roll. So I can get up close, back up. But I did find myself in a few situations where I needed to get in closer and I couldn't get any closer. Maybe like I was recording someone and they're sitting down in the middle. That's where you can do a couple things. You can get this other setup like I did, or the 4K on, if you have a Canon M50, the 4K on it is actually really good. Now yes, it does crop in, but that's where it actually ended up helping me, was that I switched it on to 4K, and the 16mm ends up being a 25mm equivalent. That ended up bumping that up when you switch it to 4K up to 40mm. The only thing is that it's only good on manual focus. Like the autofocus is terrible. You have to get good at manual focus. So I'm still practicing at manual focus. So if you're good at pulling focus, the 4K on this is really good. And if you're using the 16, you get 2 focal lengths. If you're using 1080p at 24, you'll get 25. And if you use 4K at 24, you'll get 40. So it's like you're getting 2 focal lengths for the price of 1. You just gotta use manual focus. Now this one would have been perfect if I had it during that party, because this is an 80mm equivalent, so I could have zoomed in without having to move anywhere. So that's my setup at the moment. Again, the 16mm is perfect because there is no other lens that can go down to f1.4 that's below 30mm. You know, every other lens that's a zoom lens, the lowest I've ever seen was 2.8. Now correct me if I'm wrong, because that might be bro science. There might be one out there, but to me, the ones that I've seen, the only zoom lens the lowest f-stop is 2.8. So the 16 mil for it going down to f1.4, that's probably the best prime you can buy. I feel like if I needed to zoom in, that's where this 80 mil equivalent would be perfect at. So the last thing what I want to end this video with is that some people have been asking about how the portrait photography is with the 16 mil. Now, I'm not a photographer whatsoever. I don't even consider myself a professional videographer. At this point of me making videos, I'm more of a, I guess, a hobbyist. I don't think I take this as seriously as some other people because, you know, they've been doing it for a lot longer. I barely started doing all this in April of this year was when I first got my first GoPro, and then I just been climbing the ladder up since then. And I've learned all of this pretty quickly, but I would say I have to get a lot of years under my belt before I even would say that I'm professional at any of this. But anyway, I'm getting away from the point. What I was saying was that I'm not a professional photographer, but I do take pictures sometimes. I did some video with the 80 mil, so you can see what that looks like. You can see the focal length I'm talking about. I don't think that the 16 mil is good for photography. I think that it's good for photography. It's not good for portraits. I think that the 16 mil would be better for landscapes, because no matter how much I got in, I still got too much of the background and the face was still really thin, which there's nothing wrong with that. I guess some people would, you know, think of that as a compliment, but the faces, when I took pictures with the Nifty 50, they just looked better. They were wider, but they just looked better. Like, I don't know, it just looked like an actual portrait picture, whereas the 16 mil, when I took pictures of people with it really close, it just made their face look slender, and it didn't look like what a portrait picture would look like. So again, I'm gonna just show you quick pics and then just a video, and then I'll end it there. So again, that's why I returned the 30 mil. Nothing against Sigma, nothing against anybody who buys it. It's just personally to me, it just wasn't worth the money where I can just get this set up. So hopefully you enjoy the next few clips. I'm just gonna add music over it, and we'll see you in the next video.